I want you to focus on moving from the right hip here. We're gonna try to pull that left side of your pelvis up towards the ceiling and then lowering it back down, using these muscles here in that outer hip to control that pelvis up and down here. Yep, and trying to work through that full range, working that muscle eccentrically and concentrically. From here, we're gonna be sitting back into that right hip. So we're using that hip hinge, keeping our back straight. We're just keeping that little neutral arch here, pushing back into that right hip, sitting back into those muscles into the back side of that right hip. And I want you to keep your weight on that right heel. So the left foot is just back there for a little kickstand for balance. We're pushing through that heel as we come back up, using those hip and leg muscles, and then sitting back into that right hip. And you want to really feel these muscles kind of opening up as we're sitting back into that hip, really accessing those hip rotators. With this one, we're gonna start with just a straight hinge of just hinging in that right hip, keeping the weight at your chest, not leaning forward from your back, keeping your chest elevated. And we're just pushing into the wall for a little bit of support here. We're not trying to really push into it too much, just for a little bit of balance. And then from here, we can actually add a little rotation too. Once we've mastered that, as we inhale, we're gonna twist into that right hip. So now we're bringing that pelvis over that hip here and then coming back up.